Hello, psychology students. It's good to see you again. The topic this time is Albert Bandura and his social cognitive theory of personality. You'll remember the name Albert Bandura because earlier in the course he was that same gentleman who demonstrated that children can learn simply from observing another person do something, and he thereby proved that another form of learning existed. Albert Bandura was a gentleman who was never afraid to use big words. This page has got two big ones stuck side by side. Now let's take a look at that two-word term, reciprocal determinism, and start trying to figure it out. First off, determinism simply means cause and effect. What's the cause of personality? He says that it's some things which are reciprocal. Now most people don't use that word a lot in daily life, but here's a way in which perhaps you know it. You fall in love with someone. You say to them, "Oh, you are so wonderful. I adore you." And they look at you and they say, "Why, of course you do. Oftentimes people tell me that." Hello? The love that you had for this other person, it is not reciprocal. It was not returned to you. What we hope for in life is that love will be reciprocal. Bandura says that all too often we attempt to explain personality in a linear way. We're going to end up contrasting that with the notion of a reciprocal way. Well, let's take a look at a figure now. Here's our figure, and let's say that we're interested in why a teenager has become a juvenile delinquent. You tell me if this doesn't sound like television psychology. In the environment, you've got a nice little kid. See that in the middle of the page? Dad and or mom beats the kid frequently for no good reason. What do you get 10, 14, 15 years later? An angry, juvenile, delinquent teenager. Does that sound like the sort of thing that happens in television shows all the time and that we hear about? Well, so Bandura thinks that this explanation may be good enough for television or amateur psychologists, but that in truth, that which brings about human personality is more complex, which is to say it's the complex interaction of three qualities: the beliefs that a person has about himself and the world around them, their behaviors, and the environment in which they live. Let's take a look at another figure now. Working our example, let's consider our juvenile delinquent. Put him down in the lower left-hand corner. Environment, a bad environment. Nice little kid, 4 years old, 5 years old, gets hit a lot for no good reason. Does this then have some effect upon his behavior? To the lower right-hand corner. See the arrow move? Kid gets mad, sticks his tongue out at his parents, points a finger at him, the naughty one. Parents get even madder. What do you know? It's a back and forth sort of a thing. Now that the kid is acting badly, do you think that this has some effect upon his beliefs that he has about himself? Yeah. And now if he starts believing that he's bad, does this have some effect upon his behavior? See beliefs there up at the top of the figure? And now if the kid believes that he's bad and walks around like, "Hey, I'm bad," does this have some effect upon others other people in his environment? Sure it does. What do you know? Look at those arrows. They go back and forth. The behaviors are reciprocal. And if we go back to our definition of psychology or personality from Bandura's point of view, it's the complex interaction of cognitions, beliefs, the environment, and behavior. What he has really is a very straightforward idea that is sort of hidden by his tendency to pick big words. I've got another example for you here in just a moment. It's a really nice one done by somebody else, but here you go. Push the button just above my finger. It's not real long, but the situation is pretty well explained. Go for it. Okay, if you didn't watch that little video from the other good folks, hit your stop button right now and go back. Watch that little video. It's not a real long one, and they've got a really good example. Okay, ladies and guys, it's been good to see you again. I hope you found this video interesting and especially educational. Take care now. Have yourself a great psychology day. Bob Morecook here, signing out.